Dr. Sperry suggested that had Travis not struggled so intensely, he might not have died. The judge noted that similar restraints had been applied to Travis in the past without fatal results, and that the counselors could not have foreseen the tragic outcome. The judge's decision to dismiss the charges sparked outrage and disappointment among Travis's family and supporters. Travis's grandmother, Golden Griffin, expressed her frustration and sorrow, stating that those responsible for her grandson's death should be held accountable. The family's attorney, Thomas Cuffey, supported this sentiment, emphasizing the need for justice. In response to the incident, the Georgia Department of Human Resources retrained its staff on the proper use of restraints and reviewed its policies to ensure clarity and prevent such tragedies in the future. Gwen Skinner stated the importance of making sure that the guidelines were crystal clear to avoid any confusion about when and how restraints should be used. On June 1st, 2024, it was a sunny day in Limerick, Maine. The Morgan family, hailing from Stockholm, New Jersey, was on a much-needed vacation. Jesse Morgan, a pastor, his wife Bethany, and their 4 children were spending quality time together at a lakeside cottage. The vacation was meant to be a time of rest and bonding, away from their busy lives back home. Lucy Morgan, their 6-year-old daughter, was full of life. She loved Chick-fil-A, drawing, dancing, soccer, and spending time with her family. Lucy was also curious about her faith, and had recently asked her mother, Bethany, how to be with God and be saved. Bethany had explained it to her, and Lucy, in her characteristic independence, wanted to pray on her own. She later journaled about her newfound faith, expressing her love for God in words and pictures. On that day, the Morgan family was enjoying a peaceful afternoon. They were eating a quick lunch by the lake when the children decided to play badminton in the front yard. The youngest, Lucy, was sitting on the sidelines, excitedly watching her siblings.
Toronto would not be Toronto without the artists.
The community pours into you, and then...
Jesse and Bethany were relaxing in the back when they heard a sudden scream. Rushing to the front, they discovered a horrifying scene. In a freak accident, the aluminum shaft of a badminton racket had broken off its wooden handle and pierced Lucy's skull. The sharp piece had caused a catastrophic brain injury. Lucy was still breathing but unresponsive. Jesse and Bethany held their daughter, crying to God for a miracle. Limerick Fire and Emergency Medical Services arrived quickly, and Lucy was transported to a local hospital before being airlifted to Maine Medical Center in Portland. Doctors at the medical center removed part of Lucy's skull to relieve the pressure on her brain. Despite their efforts, her condition wasn't stable. Lucy's brain functioning had essentially ceased, and it was unlikely she would ever recover. The Morgans were told to prepare for the worst. They spent the next few days in a state of incomprehensible pain, hoping for a miracle but bracing for the inevitable. Jesse documented their harrowing journey on his blog, sharing the family's struggles and their faith. On June 4th, the morning of the day Lucy was predicted to pass, Bethany's cries of pain were heard through the hospital, reminding her of the day she gave birth to Lucy nearly 7 years ago. The pain of a mother losing her child was indescribable. The Morgans faced the heartbreaking task of explaining the situation to Lucy's 3 siblings. 8-year-old Shiloh broke down immediately, unable to imagine life without her sister. 4-year-old AJ clung to his parents, asking endless questions in his typical style. 10-year-old Silas tried to be strong, but eventually broke down, declaring that he didn't want to be a family of 5. As the days passed, the Morgans found comfort in their faith and the support of their extended family and church community. They sang Lucy's favorite hymn, "He Will Hold Me Fast," at her bedside. On June 5th at 1:32 a.m., Lucy was declared brain dead. A few hours later, her heart stopped beating. Returning home to New Jersey was another ordeal. The family arrived to find their steps lined with flowers and a fridge stocked with food, but entering their home was one of the hardest things they had ever done. They sat on the front steps crying together, before mustering the courage to go inside. Once inside, they collapsed on the kitchen floor, overwhelmed by grief. Amid their sorrow, they discovered an unexpected gift. Lucy's prayer journal, given to her a month before her passing, contained her heartfelt prayers and drawings.